today's topic is maturity and experience are a part of liberation. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree with it. And because that's what I have experienced in life. Once you have experience, automatically your confidence, your maturity goes to the next level. And of course, this brings about a lot of liberation and freedom, no doubt, in your actions, in your thinking, in your every area of your life. I absolutely agree with it.
Yes, I 100% agree with it. And just like what Rima said, it's perfect that, when you have experience, that's when you attain maturity. And with these two things, liberation is definitely achieved. Because just having education doesn't help. Education with experience really, really helps. And experience with maturity will help you, achieve liberation.
There were moments when I had to fight against my own family to take my own liberty. At that moment, my experience that I have earned through my education helped me to come out of that phase. So I believe yes, your experience will make you more mature, will help you, will guide you in getting the answers for those questions which are hidden, and then it will help you to grow and then liberate yourself from any situation of your life.
I was a completely different person, had no confidence. I couldn't take a stand for myself. There were many things that I would not approve of, but I would never stand up and say, no, this is wrong. This is not what I want to do. This is not how I think. I never had the guts, you can say, or the freedom, or even I would say I didn't have the maturity to do that. I never even knew that I can do it. I can voice my opinion. I didn't even know that. With life, wherein my career-wise, my personal relations, my interaction with society, and even with my own self, my own personal relationship with myself, wherein my physical, my emotional aspect was concerned, I was not at all confident, and I just never could take a stand for myself. But as I moved on in life, yes, as I grew in my career, and as I interacted with people and a lot of understanding came in, there was a lot of understanding, maturity, and confidence that came in. But more than anything, it was the understanding. The understanding helped me to bring that maturity. There were many things that I learned. I mean, is it okay if I talk and share about it?
Sure.
Okay. So there were things like, पहले मेरे को कोई चीज पूछता था ना, तो मैं बहुत frankly बोल देती थी, no, this is not nice. I didn't like it at all. Now I realize that people don't want to hear the truth. If you don't have something nice to say, keep your mouth shut. And if you have to say something nice, even if it is sometimes a little sugar coated, even if it is not the truth, I would say, yeah, it's not bad. So I wouldn't be as blunt about my opinion as I was earlier. Second thing is, we do not need to have the answers to everything. हमेशा मुझे पहले लगता था ऐसे क्यों हुआ, ये क्यों, ऐसा क्यों. And now I realize it's okay. If I have to know something, time will automatically get it in front of me. I'm not going to stress myself over getting answers for anything and everything. Agar aana hai, I will know it. And there are times I'm better off without the answer. So that understanding and acceptance also came in. And pehle kya tha na, I would share everything about me, say about everything, anything. Now I realize, no, everything doesn't need to be shared. Everything doesn't need to be said. It's okay to keep things to yourself. Don't give advice to others. People are not looking for advice. So when you have an opinion, when you know something can be done good, or you have something good to say about it, keep your mouth shut till the other person genuinely asks you for it and you feel that genuinely you need. Bolne ke liye advice bolna nahi hai. It's okay, because now everybody knows everything, because people have access to all the kinds of knowledge with all the technology they have, all the exposure they have. It's okay. So we all know everything. It is our choices whether we want to do something or we don't want to do. So we just leave it at that. Okay, one more thing was, it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to listen and only say when it's needed. I realized पहले तो मैं हर चीज के लिए बहुत बोल देती थी, needed है कि नहीं needed है. Now, in fact, I've realized listening helps me to understand a lot of things, a lot of underlying things, a lot of things I notice when I'm quiet. So that really makes a difference. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to listen. It's okay to observe. We are not responsible. I've actually jotted down the points. So we are not responsible for how people are going to react, how they are going to think, how they're going to live, how they're going to take care of themselves, how they're going to spend. And there are also times when I would try to fight others' battles. And it was not needed. The other person didn't even care. Why am I fighting somebody else's battle? So let them all handle their thing on their own. Why am I getting into it? It's a simple thing like my husband and my son. I'm always trying to protect my son, or I'm always trying to protect my husband. They don't need it. They're matured enough. They'll handle their own thing. I don't need to get involved, you know. So that's a lot of things. That's just one example, but it's with many people. Yeah, let people make their mistakes. There are times when, even with my son, I've seen him making a mistake. I'll tell him the pros and cons, but if he still chooses to do things, it's okay. Let him do it. He'll make a mistake if he's making a mistake. He'll learn from it, get up and move on. So, pehle mujhe lagta tha I have to prevent that person from taking that mistake. Now I say no, it's okay. Let them learn from their own mistakes and they will learn from it and they will move on just the way I did. It's not that I never made mistakes. If I had the liberty to do it, I think let others also do it. Yes. One more thing I learned in life is life changes, we change, people change, situations change. Things are not going to be the same. So there are times when I used to feel very bad. Yeah, wo person to pura badal gaya. Now I've accepted it. That's the way life is. Change is constant. Everybody will change. Maybe even I have changed to a certain extent. And I know for a fact that I've changed. So that's also okay. So these are the things that I've come to terms with. This is the things that I have realized. And this is the maturity I've got, the understanding I've got. And this has got me the confidence and the freedom, the liberation, and the validation that it's okay to make mistakes and learn. I think I'll stop at this point. I'll talk after some time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing all these experiences, because there are many times that, you know, we face challenge and we don't know actually whether liberation is with us, liberty is with us, but many a times we don't exercise it. So I'd like to ask Nita ma'am that what do you think that I'm sure that, you know, you might have faced this kind of situation and you might have exercised your liberty or may not. So we'd like to know, ma'am.
I was always confident from childhood. I started off at a very early age and I used to look like a kid then, because when I started my first job, I was just in college. So it was, when they say about maturity and experience, you know, when I used to talk to people about financial planning, I was into insurance at that point of time. It's a bachchi hai. You know, usne kitne barish dekhi hai. You know, it's like, how can she advise someone about, you know, money? You know, how much money has she handled? But yes, experience teaches you a lot. And now I can say the 30 years back, the Nita that was there, and now the Nita, it's with a lot of experience and with a lot of maturity. Today, I have actually stepped into the shoes of so many people that I've been able to see a 360-degree view. You know, I have been able to empathize with a lot of people because I know as how it felt when I was a 25-year-old and I was trying to, you know, talk to people about financial planning who was a 50-year-old nearing retirement. And that's when I realized, you know, yes, when this topic came to me and when you shared this with me, I said, yes, you know, liberation definitely has come. I was confident. I was thinking I can go and advise everyone. But then people said, is mere baal safed ho gaye, you know, ye paisa kama ke aur aap mujhe batane wale ho. And I said, yes, of course I can tell you because I have the education. But education, experience, maturity really, really helps. Today, when I talk to people, I'm able to share the experiences of those that, you know, it's not just necessary to have age at your side. Age is just a number, I would say. Maturity comes and experience comes once you meet a lot of people. Like Rima very well said about listening. You know, you listen. You have to give a listening ear. At that time, I used to talk more. I used to, you know, tell them, this is what I want to tell you about. I would give advice, free advice. They used to say, okay, but I would not listen what they require. It was, you know, so there's a difference between hearing and listening. So I would not listen, I would hear and I would say, हाँ, लेकिन ये अच्छा है आपके लिए, you know, this is very good for you. And they would say, नहीं, ठीक है. And then I used to wonder, okay, what is wrong? But today when I look back, yes, experience and maturity really, really help. listening is very important. And, again, I'm referring to Rima because she just spoke and she's talked about family. It's like, we feel that we, the women, have to manage everything, right? From the mother, mom-in-law, son, husband. And, it's like, if we are not there, then how will things fall into place? But things fall into place amazingly once we look at it from a more mature point of view and we give responsibilities to people. It definitely works. So yes, I feel liberation really, really helped. And it is always there, but it is about experience, and maturity is really, really helps you get liberation much more.
Great, great.
Divya,
Since Nita ma'am said that, you started at a very early stage. So it happens that many a times you have the liberty and you want to exercise it, but liberation comes with a risk, I can say. Experiences are not always good, they're bad also. So it happens that we may have bad experience, but how we take it, it becomes challenging. So since you started with a very young age, it might be difficult for you to, balance it, whether I should go with this experience or should I experience it again. So did that happen with you? How did you try to overcome with that? Like,
yes, it absolutely happened. In fact, we were two girls, and my dad and mom always felt they needed to have a boy in the family. So my elder sister, she was 8 years elder to me, and so it was always that we don't have a boy. Who will take care of us when we grow old? And I said, I'm going to be the boy of the family. And that's how I looked at everything. So anything to be fixed in the house or anything to be done, whether it was the light bulb or anything, I should say, I can do it. Whether I knew it or not, I would figure it out later, but I would say, I will do it. So that's how I was brought up. And yes, I looked at every challenge as an opportunity. So one instance which I can tell you was, I told my parents that, is your problem that, when we get married, you'll have to spend. So the reason why I started working early when I was in college was that because I said, I want to ensure that for my marriage, the entire expense, I am going to bear it myself. And whoever is going to be my life partner, I'm going to talk to him about it. My parents will not spend a single rupee, whether it will be the expenses of the marriage, whether it will be the, buying of the jewelry or anything. And believe me, I was able to do that. I never allowed my parents to spend anything, and I got a real good life partner whom I spoke to him about this, and we had an awesome thing. Today also I can take care of my parents, so that's never been a problem. But yes, because I had that goal, it really helped me. So the liberation, I would say, really helped me. Why? Because I knew I had to be more focused. I knew I had to work, so I used to work and study. I completed my graduation whilst I was, working. I ensured I saved money. I got into financial planning basically to understand that because I saw my dad doing a lot of costly mistakes with his money. Otherwise, I wanted to be a doctor. I had taken science, but I realized, it's a problem when it comes about money. And I saw a lot of people being, fooled, or even my dad, going in, he had invested in a Ponzi scheme. And then he realized he lost all his money. He retired, and I was in my 12th. And that's when I took my job. So I said, "Nee, let me understand this financial planning game." And today I'm a financial doctor, which I proudly call myself. So that's what I said. I always believe in health and wealth. And I ensured that, every expense of our marriage was taken care of by us. When I delivered a baby, I told my mom, I will not be coming to your house. You will come to our place. I want you all to be more comfortable because yes, we had a small house, and, my dad always felt that was enough. We don't need a big place. We don't have any sons. So our daughters will get married and go. So we took care of, so this really, really helped. So every challenge I looked as an opportunity. I said no. So when I delivered, my mom came to my house. She was there with me. She was able to, take care. Even she was happy that she could do so much more, which otherwise she would not have been able to do. So it has really, really helped. One other instance I would like to tell you where I've looked at as a challenge. So when I was engaged to my husband, and I always wanted to ride a cycle. My dad never allowed me that. He said, bike, nahi, you'll meet with an accident. It was always that since girls. And so I said, no, I want to. So I to cycling seekh liya tha. Lekin scooter seekhne ka tha. And when I got engaged, I spoke to my husband and he said, oh, I also have never gone on a bike. I've not ridden a bike. So I said, okay. And he said, because his mom said, the similar thing what my dad said. So before my marriage, I went and I booked a bike, got my license. So I went with the bike. So that's how every challenge I looked as an opportunity. That's what I would say. And that really, really helps.
So actually, I also believe in liberation, but not at the cost of, hurting others, or uprooting others' lives, or not even bothering about others' feelings and emotions. So I'm never for it. For me, it always means that. So I always tell young mothers that it's okay. You have to do things that you have to do it, but take a stand where you're not unfair to the others. It could be to anybody. It could be their family or to other people in the society, or it could be somewhere in the workplace. Absolutely okay to take a stand, but not at the cost of hurting others and things like that. Talk it out, explain it, why you want it, why it's so important for you, and then go ahead with your thing. Not just by not bothering about others. So that is always the way I am. I always like to ensure that everybody is comfortable and happy. And of course, I take my stand, but not by hurting others and things like that. Ensuring everybody's in a comfortable mode or zone.
Nice. Thank you. Keeping everybody equal and, giving them their space while having ours.
Yes, exactly.
Great. So now I would like to ask Dr. Vaishali that since you have opened up and, thank you for doing so. So the same question, I know that you have taken this strong step, because confronting parents is one such thing that everyone can't do. To be honest, we are afraid. We are at that stage that when we are not mature. So since you took that stage, what is one of the message that you would like to pass on to all the moms to feel liberated or to exercise liberty liberation?
Same as Rima ma'am has said, I would also say use your liberty, but don't hurt anyone else by using it. Open yourself, come out of the shells in which you have been there, but never pull others to go ahead. Because that is something very serious. You will be on top of everything, but then that liberty will drain you out somewhere in some part of the life. Because it said that whatever you gave, whatever you sow, you reap always. And karma has the habit of coming back to you. So your karma should be in such a way that it will not hurt you or it will not hurt others. So I believe that whatever ma'am has said, I'm agreeing to the same thing. Use your liberty, but to some extent, it should not hurt others.
Great. So this is the personal message that you would like to pass. But I'm sure that, work related also, you might be exercising this. So how you use your work, as a tool to make the women or, people out there liberated, like through your work?
See, I am an educator. I am a teacher. So all the time I have that कि हाँ ये सही है ऐसे होना चाहिए गलत है ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. So I have that stick of sahi and galat all the time in my hands. And yes, I have helped many people. Even I have helped my maid also. I'll accept this. My maid was undergoing lot of personal issues with her husband. And I told her what are her rights and how she can use those rights to free herself from the trauma that she is undergoing. Because see, those people don't know what education is. They never went to schools. And they even don't know what rights they have to use when it comes on taking the stands. So I had helped her a lot, and touch wood, now she is really very happy. Her husband is also supporting her. Her husband has also started working and has left drinking, alcohol and all those things. So I feel that education has helped her in getting the liberty, and these things will help everyone. Means not only education, experience, the maturity that you have. So in workplace also, even my colleagues who are not able to open themselves, so I talk to them, I ask them, although I may not be able to tell my story to them, but I try to find what they are undergoing, and then I tell them what is right and what is wrong for them. And sometimes I have to tell them this also, that you can take one step back, because every time you can't go ahead and do everything, right? आपको कभी ना कभी एक step पीछे लेना ही पड़ता है, आपके decisions को थोड़ा पीछे करना ही पड़ता है, ताकि वो आगे future में आपको चीज hurt ना करे. So I have to tell them also कि यार कुछ नहीं होता, एक बार थोड़ा पीछे हट गए, अगर हस्बैंड से झगड़ा भी हो रहा है तो अपने आप को थोड़ा सा पीछे कर लो, क्योंकि बच्चा घर में है, बच्चे के सामने इफ यू आर क्वेरलिंग ऑल द टाइम, it gives negative impact on their little minds also. So it's better to pull your leg back. कुछ नहीं होता एक स्टेप पीछे लेने से. So I tell what are pros and what are cons of everything, and then it helps my colleagues also to improve their lives.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much for sharing this little incident where you helped your maid. But I would say, definitely, I would say that such short stories are only the success stories, of our work life. So to Nita ma'am, that how is your, liberation as a tool? How do you use for your work life? Since you're finance coach, so definitely you're making everybody, finance free. So I mean,
Right.
obviously, so we would love to know about that.
So my tagline always has been take charge of your financial lives, but I would say take charge of your lives. You are significant. And just like when you are going by plane, they first said, always say, if you put your own mask, then go out to help others. So I think, yes, that is what every woman needs to do, because you don't need to carry everyone's burden on your head and try to make things good for everyone. You are significant. You are not irreplaceable. Okay, you're not indispensable. So yes, you need to ensure you take care of your health first. You need to take charge of your life first, because if you're happy, you will have a happy atmosphere. You will spread positivity, and you will be able to have a better, happier, positive environment at home and with your colleagues or everywhere. So that's what I always say. So whenever I meet women, I say, take charge of your financial lives. Why I use that as a tool? Because I've come across many women. They take charge of their financial lives when there's an unfortunate death or an unfortunate event in the family. They have no clue. And that time, a lot of people are taken for a ride. They don't know what happens. They don't know what investments are there, what is there. So that's where I really, really talk to a lot of women, and I tell them to educate their children as well, to take charge and understand this thing right from childhood. So that's my tagline. As I said, it's take charge of your life.
Thank you for sharing. I remember the last session that you took for Chai Pe Charcha for finance. You
Right.
said that, we women underrate ourselves because finance is not a part of women. But you said that we, maintain the balance sheet of a home because we
Yes.
have budget for everything and we take care well. So
Actually, we are the best at it, but it's only that we find it complex, so we don't approach the subject. But it is important and it is required, because ultimately there is money is important. It is a tool, but you need to know about it. You need to know how to manage it, and I think we are the best managers.
But is it really complex as we think it to be, or
Not
it's just
at
a
all.
myth?
It is, see, a lot of complex jargon is used. Like, when I actually advise a lot of surgeons as well. So when they talk to me about heart surgery, they talk about all those complex things, which I wonder, okay, it's so complex. But otherwise, if they explain it to me in a simple language, I'm able to understand. So same, financial planning is very simple. Money is simple. You don't need to go into all those detailed things. For that, there are a lot of experts and advisors and all available. But you need to know about budgeting. You need to know about compounding. You need to about saving and about investing. At least these things you need to know. You need to know where your money is, what are the right products. That is important. So we don't want every woman to be a financial advisor or financial planner, but you need to manage your money well. That's what is the thing that I always talk to women, and I tell them it's important, because somehow they shy away from it. They feel it's a man's job.
Yeah.
The husband, brother,
Like
father,
that.
even son is managing, but they say, "Nahi yaar, mere liye nahi."
Even Corona has given us a thought that yes, we should know about our financial things, because whatever has happened during this last 2 months, means in April and May, we have seen that so many of deaths have happened, and
Yes.
women have left alone, and they're not knowing about the financial things, what their husbands have been doing. So it has been so means
It's really a
that time.
In
So we
fact,
should.
in fact, they say goddess Lakshmi is a woman.
Yes,
Our
yes.
finance minister now is a woman.
Yes.
Our moms have been saving money in those small, potlies or those small things, as from so many ages. So in India, saving is awesome. So it's just that we need to approach that a little bit. And like you rightly said, it's when everything falls apart, that time the woman becomes strong, and then she tries to manage things. So why not take it a little earlier, not wait for that event?
So Rima ma'am, last question to you. So what's your mantra for this liberation? Definitely, you have shared that, you know, you want to give space and everything, but there would be one mantra that you follow and you wish to pass on to others. You know, it's not kind of an advice, but yeah, definitely one message that you'd like to pass on.
Okay. Is it okay if I have a few mantras?
Yeah. Definitely just take that you want to share.
It will work. It will work.
Okay, yeah. The first one being yes, take care of yourself, as Nita rightly said, physically, mentally, emotionally, because your first love has to be you.
Yeah.
Only when you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you can do things for others. When you are not filled with love and, you know, when you haven't taken care of yourself, you cannot do anything for others. And this is the mistake we all women do. And I still see a lot of women doing that. You know, they who keep themselves in the last, which is, I feel, very wrong. And I have learned from my own experience. मैं भी ऐसे थी, and I was a horrible person to myself and to others. I mean, because I was so unhappy, so unsatisfied, I couldn't give out love. I was such a, मुझे लोग ना नकचड़ा बोलते थे, सड़ी हुई बोलते थे, very proudy, arrogant बोलते थे, you know. And that is the way I was. Frankly speaking, that's the way I was. So, and then once I realized that keeping myself happy is in my hand, and I'm going to be responsible for my life, for my happiness. I'm not going to depend on others because हम दूसरे पे depend करते हैं. Obviously, they don't know about it and they cannot do much about it, and we feel disappointed. There's a resentment, and that's what goes out. You know, it spreads out. So that is the first thing. Be responsible for your own happiness, for your own health. Once that is done, you can do a lot of good things for others, for your family and for others. Yes. Another mantra is it's okay to make mistakes. हमें क्या लगता है कि mistake नहीं हो जाना चाहिए. उस चक्कर में हम लोग को इतना सारा tension बना देते हैं, and still there is no guarantee कि mistake होगा कि नहीं. So what I say is, you take your decisions considering that present moment as per the situation is. You take the decision. गलत है कि सही है वो time बताएगा. That time nobody can decide whether any decision taken is right or wrong. It's only later on in life that we realize. So it's okay. Even if we make mistake, it's okay. We'll learn from it and we will move on. It's not going to be the end of it. And it's okay to go against the flow. So there are many thoughts that I have in my mind regarding a lot of things that society follows with the rituals and things like that. Earlier, because the family follows it, I used to follow it and though I used to not believe in it. But today, yes, I'm okay to stand and I say, no, I don't believe in it, but I respect your belief. You go ahead, but I cannot be a part of it. You know, because this is something that बिना belief आप वो कर रहे हो तो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं. But it's okay if you want to go ahead. I will not come in the way of your belief. That's okay, perfectly okay. Yes, always others' opinion doesn't matter. We are actually always trying to get the approval of others for everything that we do in life. हर टाइम हर चीज में लोगों की अप्रूवल नहीं होगी भी. It's okay. As far as you believe in it and you take your life as you want, you go ahead. It's absolutely okay. Yes, as I said earlier, we are responsible for our life, our happiness, and for the choices we make. We may make wrong choices, but that's the way it is. We make choices, we decide, we live our life accordingly. That's okay. So the thing is, when something goes wrong, don't blame others. We are there. We say, yeah, okay, I made a wrong choice. Fine, it's okay. So you be responsible for your own mistakes. It's absolutely okay. And yes, finally, this is something that I learned in life. Perfection is a trap. For me, that's the real mantra now. Huh? पहले मुझे हर चीज perfect चाहिए था और उस चक्कर में all people around me were unhappy. Because I'm expecting perfection from others also. And always that stress, ये सही होना चाहिए, ये एकदम ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, उस चक्कर में I'm not enjoying life and I'm making stress for myself and for others. And even where my work was concerned, everything doesn't need to be perfect. It's okay. Life में हर चीज इतना perfect होने की जरूरत नहीं. You'll probably realize because I've even jotted down all the points. You know, morning it was just flowing. So I said I have to write it down. But yes, I have written it down. But again, things don't need to be perfect. Perfection is a trap. Just keep yourself relaxed, cool, easy, and things will still flow that way also. So these are a few mantras of my life.
What is that one area or one thing that you want to do where you want to be liberated?
Very difficult question, actually.
Give it a thought. Give it a thought. And maybe you should exercise it in future, anytime. Yeah.
Rain dance. Dancing.
So yes, very similar to Vaishali's, in Bombay, when you have that Ganpati ka Visarjan, so you have all the gouty people on the road. For the Visarjan, they're all dancing on the road without any care for anybody. And their all faces are smeared with gulal and colors and all. And I always have this, मुझे जाके ऐसे में नाचना है. मेरा face color कर दो ताकि कोई मुझे पहचानेगा नहीं. And I just want to dance like a ghati only. But
fantasy, yes, I want to be super fit even at age 75, 80. That's what I always think. And I love dancing. I'm into jive and, I love dancing. I can just, music starts and I start dancing. So I always tell my son and my husband, even if I'm 80, I want to be running my marathons. I want to be dancing.